It's a vast pottery army which is slowly being unearthed from the tomb where it's lain for more than 2,000 years.
For years, everyone thought that the Terracotta Army was just guarding a royal tomb, but the truth that has come out in 2025 is going to shake everyone. Things that were previously heard only in stories, now they are coming in front of us as reality. Scientists have discovered a new underground chamber, which was kept hidden for centuries, but as soon as that door was opened, what was found changed everyone's thinking. These are not just clay statues. There is a secret hidden behind them, which no one had even thought of till date. Were these statues just for show, or did they have some purpose, which was hidden from the world till date? Some artifacts have been found that had non-Chinese symbols, and some experts claim that these statues may be related to alive soldiers, something that points to a forbidden experiment of ancient China. And the scariest thing? Some statues were hollow from inside, but when you find out what was inside them, you will also start wondering whether we have been taught history wrongly. If you think that the truth of the Terracotta Army is just an archaeological discovery, then you cannot miss this video. The revelations that have been made are not crazy, but documented. And now the question is, why was all this hidden for so many years? If you're fascinated by ancient mysteries and hidden history, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon, because what's coming next will shock you even more. When the Terracotta Army was first discovered, people around the world were astonished. Imagine thousands of statues of soldiers standing in a perfect line under the ground, as if ready for a war. And these were not ordinary statues. Each one had a different face, expression, and attire. Some were smiling, some seemed angry, some were lost in thought. It was as if there was a story of a real person behind each statue. Historians said that this Terracotta Army was built by the first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang, for his safety after death. He believed that even after his death, he would live like a king in another world, and this army was prepared to protect him in that world. He had not built just one or two statues, but a whole army of soldiers. Infantry, cavalry, archers, generals, everyone was included. It seemed as if the entire war had been prepared. Only the enemy was left to be waited for. When farmers were digging a well in 1974 and these statues were first discovered, archaeologists thought that this was a typical historical tomb in which the king had built all this to show his power. The excavations revealed horses, chariots, real iron weapons, armored soldiers, and a ranking system. Everything was very systematic. Even the alignment of each statue, their gear and position, all had a military logic. That is, it was not just decoration, but a proper war formation. People counted it as one of the biggest archaeological discoveries in China. Yes, the statues were impressive in themselves, but until then, no one considered it normal. It is true that Emperor Qin was very ambitious, but all this was just a part of his ego and afterlife belief. This was repeated again and again in history books and documentaries. But the real game was yet to begin. The things that were not visible at that time are now becoming visible in 2025. Now it is being discovered that perhaps this army was not just symbolic. Perhaps its purpose was something else, something that is beyond human thinking. And now, some parts of the old excavations are being re-examined, because it seems that something very big was missed at that time. What was revealed in 2025 changed the entire story of the Terracotta Army. The excavations that had been done so far were limited to one part where the statues were lined up, there were weapons, and the king's afterlife army looked ready. But no one had imagined that there could be more hidden beneath it. But this year, some researchers accidentally found a path that was slightly away from the main site. The soil had sunk a little, and the radar scan showed an empty space there. When the excavation team started digging at that place, they found an underground sealed chamber, a part that was not recorded in any book, map, or record till date. The entry to this new park was completely closed with absolutely solid stones, as if someone had deliberately hidden it. It took weeks to get inside because it was not easy to open the door, but when it was opened, what came out shook everyone's mind. The atmosphere inside this chamber was completely different. There were symbols on the walls, but they were not Chinese symbols. It seemed like the language of some other civilization. Some researchers said that these symbols resembled some ancient Middle Eastern scripts, but no one could say for sure. And the most shocking thing, some statues were found in broken condition. And when they were examined, biological residues were found inside some of them. That is, there was something inside the soil that seemed organic, as if some living or biological substance had been kept there at some time. The DNA test also gave strange results, something that did not match known human genetics. This has not been fully released in official reports yet, but the leaks that have happened are quite disturbing. This was not just an underground vault. It seemed to be a place to hide something. The question is, what was hidden and why? It is clear that the purpose of this new chamber was not the same as that of the Terracotta Army above. There was something else going on here, something that seems to be much bigger and more dangerous than the security measures taken after the death of the king. Now scientists and historians alike are forced to wonder, were we never told the real truth behind the Terracotta Army? Now let's talk about the part that is the most frightening. When the statues were taken out from the new underground part and their investigation began, one after the other, such secrets started coming out, which no one had expected. First of all, the forensic team did chemical and biological tests of these statues. The most shocking thing was DNA traces were found in some statues. Now, this was not a simple matter. Terracotta Army was made of soil, but finding human DNA inside the soil raises the question, were these statues inspired by a real human? Or is it possible that a human body was used to make these statues? As the investigation progressed, another dangerous thing came to light: radiation levels. There were radiation traces found near some specific statues and walls, which were not at all normal. Researchers said that the soil and stones there are still emitting low-level radiation, and this does not seem natural. So the question arises, was any kind of energy experiment done there? Or was something kept in that underground zone which was radioactive? Now let's come to the most shocking observation. When some statues broke and fell or were opened, it was found that many statues were hollow from inside. That is, they were not completely solid, but were empty inside, and the symbols found in that empty part made the atmosphere even more scary. Those symbols did not look like any ancient language at first glance. Rather, some researchers say that those patterns were like modern-day AI coding or mathematical sequences. Now imagine a 2,000-year-old statue, and inside it such a symbol that matches today's computer programming? Some experts called it a coincidence, but some believe that this is a deliberate code which requires technology to understand. That is, the people who were making all this were probably much more advanced than we can think. All these things made it clear that the Terracotta Army was not just an afterlife security force. Perhaps it was a containment zone, an attempt to hide some ancient technology, or a threat from an extraterrestrial entity. One thing is certain, this discovery is not just a matter of history, it can also affect our present and future. When the new discovery of 2025 came to light, not only archaeologists, but also researchers, historians, and conspiracy theorists from all over the world became alert, because the things found there were not just related to old soil or the king's tomb. There was something in it that was beyond our understanding. And this is where different theories begin. The first and most popular theory is alien technology theory. Some experts believe that Emperor Qin Shi Huang somehow got access to alien technology. How did the achievements of his time, like the initial construction of the Great Wall, unified currency, a large army, all this happened in a person's lifetime? And the symbols that have been found now also do not match any known human language. According to this theory, the Terracotta Army was to protect or contain an alien device, and perhaps that alien relic was hidden in that underground chamber. The second theory is even more shocking: human experimentation theory. Some believe that at that time China had secret biological experiments where attempts were made to genetically modify soldiers. The DNA traces found in the statues were probably part of those experiments. Think about it. Did the Qin dynasty create soldiers who were faster, stronger, or more intelligent than ordinary humans? And then they were preserved forever through the statues? The third theory seems the most sci-fi, but it cannot be ignored in view of today's quantum physics. It is called quantum burial system theory. According to this theory, the Terracotta Army was not just for the protection of the physical body, but was a way to safely send the emperor's soul or energy to another dimension. The placement, orientation, and symbols of the army work like a coded map, so that the emperor's soul can reach an alternate reality or time-space zone. One thing is common in all the theories: this is not just an ordinary archaeological site. The purpose behind the things we are seeing is much deeper, mysterious, and perhaps dangerous. Whatever things have been found so far, as surprising as they were, the silence of the Chinese government was even more surprising. Yes, when this new discovery was made in 2025, underground chamber, symbols, DNA traces, radiation, it was expected that scientists and media from all over the world would be called there so that they could see and analyze it for themselves. But the opposite happened. For the first few weeks, the Chinese government completely suppressed this discovery. No press release, no update. All work at the excavation site was suddenly stopped, and then suddenly military vehicles reached the site, armed guards surrounded the area, and no outsider was allowed to go inside. During this time, some leaked internal documents came out, in which it was clearly written that some classified materials have been found at the site, and that is why it has now been made a national security matter. Now think, if an archaeological site suddenly becomes a national security, then how big is the matter? After this, when the international media started raising questions, why the excavation was stopped, and what was found there, no one got a direct answer. And whatever was shown, that too was only through government-approved photos and reports. The footage of the CCTV cameras installed there suddenly disappeared. All the researchers who were working there earlier were forbidden to talk to the media, and some were even removed from the site. Now the question arises, if only some common archaeological things were found there, then why so much secrecy? And if something was found there that the world should not know, then are we being deliberately kept away from the truth? Many people believe that the Chinese government knows that if this information comes out, then not only their history but the whole world's view about ancient civilizations can change. And perhaps that is why they decided that only as many things as are to be shown to the people should be shown. Now the biggest question is, how did this part remain hidden for so many years? Excavation by the Terracotta Army has been going on since 1974. Thousands of people have done research there. Archaeologists from all over the world have seen that place. Still, why did this underground chamber not come to anyone's notice for so many years? Was it really so deep that even radar and instruments could not detect it? Or was no one allowed to go there deliberately? Some people say that that part of the site was always kept in a restricted zone, without giving any reason. The second big question, what are those symbols that were found there? No expert has been able to say for sure till now which language those symbols are related to. They are not Chinese, not Sanskrit, nor any Egyptian script, and the surprising thing is that there are some patterns that look like mathematical or digital code. Now think, is it possible that those symbols connect us to some future civilization? Did anyone in ancient China get a glimpse of the future? Or was it some information that humans were going to understand later? The third thing that confuses the most is DNA traces. Whose biological materials were found inside the statues? Why are they not matching human DNA? Are they related to some species that has no documentation? And if that DNA is not from this earth, then this question becomes even bigger. Is this entire Terracotta Army the result of influence from another civilization or perhaps another planet? So many things are still without answers. The Chinese government has not released the complete report yet, and the information that has been leaked is incomplete. This has increased people's suspicion even more. One thing is clear, the reality is much more mysterious and scary than what we thought of this army, and until all the answers are revealed, these questions will continue to bother us. Now the question is not just what was found there, but now the question arises, what could happen next? Was the Terracotta Army really created just for the king's afterlife safety? Or was it a complete prison, a containment zone? Some researchers and conspiracy theorists believe that Emperor Qin Shi Huang not only created an army for himself, but perhaps he contained some entity, some power or creature. That power could be beyond human understanding, some ancient being, some alien presence, or some energy that could be a threat to the world. If the Terracotta Army is seen from this perspective, then this entire setup becomes like a lock, where the statues are not just guards, but part of a seal, which is preventing that thing from coming out. And now another theory is coming to the fore. Was this entire army just a distraction? That is, the real secret is somewhere else, maybe in that underground vault, maybe in some other sealed place, and these thousands of statues were just to divert people's attention so that nobody could reach the real place for centuries. Because as long as everyone's attention is on the statues, nobody will reach that main secret. And now, when this veil is being lifted bit by new discoveries, the question arises whether we have come very close to some ancient danger. If this was really a containment zone, then was it a mistake to open that sealed thing? Are the symbols that we are not able to understand like a warning? And if that was a warning, then is it too late now? These questions are not just about history, they are also about the future. And perhaps now we are in a period where we will have to look at our history from a new perspective. So now the question is, do we have to rewrite our history? Whatever was taught about the Terracotta Army till now, was it half true or completely wrong? Because the things that have come to light in the new discovery of 2025 are not found in any archaeology book, neither in any museum, nor in any school syllabus. DNA traces, radiation signals, strange symbols, hollow statues, and a hidden underground vault, all these are not the things of a normal archaeological site. So, was Qin Shi Huang really connected to something that was beyond his understanding? Or did he deliberately contain something that could be dangerous for humanity? Now we want to ask you, what do you think? Could all this be the work of an ancient, advanced civilization? Or was all this an attempt by a king to go beyond his fear and power? Have we come very close to a truth that was kept hidden for thousands of years? Do let us know by commenting below. Do you believe that the Terracotta Army was not just clay statues? Share the video so that more people can give their opinion on this mystery. And most importantly, the next time you see an old statue, think, is it just a work of art? Or is it hiding a secret?